Hello Flosstube, it is Nichol. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel for all my returning subscribers. This is Flosstube number 84. I am so grateful you're here today. To all my moms, grandmothers, fur baby moms, aunts, teachers, anyone like a mom, happy Mother's Day. And to anyone who this is a tough day for, my thoughts are with you. I hope I can bring a little bit of happy to your day. So big weekend. I am filming this early, full disclosure. So by the time you see this, I will have another high school graduate, my youngest, my baby, graduates Saturday. And so let me fix this a little bit. Big day, lots of company, and that's why I am filming early this week so that I can have this video up for you guys. All the emotions. On one hand, super grateful, super happy. On the other hand, it's the end of an era. Yeah, I don't know. All the emotions, but I have a house full of company going to be here at any moment probably, so let's hope I get this filmed. But I am excited to be here to share with you what I've been stitching this week. I actually have 3 brand new FFO'S. So happy about that. I have a really special giveaway for you guys this week. I will share my stitching progress. There will be more progress. But again, I'm filming early. So, with that being said, let's see, I have a little bit of haul. I have giveaway winners to announce as well, and those will be listed at the end of the video. I think all but one from last week's video commented, so that is amazing. And I think we should just jump in to today's video. Again, timestamps are listed below so that you can jump to whatever you're interested in. I do try to list everything that I'm talking about or showing down in the description. Okay, last week I shared that I was restitching this Celebrate the Years for my parents. They actually celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary last year, so it's 51 here at the end of this month. But I stitched this. I had it done in plenty of time. I wasn't unhappy with my stitching, but something was always off for me. And I think for me it was the fabric. I just prefer fabric that doesn't quite have so much gold in it. So I did take 4.5 hours this week. It just took me part of one evening and then part of the next day, and I restitched Celebrate the Years. You may have seen this on social media to give to my parents. Now, funny enough, I did buy this frame last year, but then I was like, oh, I don't want to finish it in that. So much struggle bus on how to finish this piece, but I'm very happy with it. So first up, the fabric change. This was the leftover fabric from my tomato tray. This is 32 count gray by Weeks Dye Works, and I was really happy to be able to utilize it. Plus, to me, it took the gold out of the fabric. All of the floss is the same. I used Weeks Dye Works whitewash and whiskey. I think it's called for Gentle Arts chalk and Weeks Dye Works whiskey, but I just used whitewash and whiskey, and this is how I finished it. So this frame actually had mats. It's from Michael's. Let's look at it. And anyhow, I took everything out of it. I took a piece of sticky press-on board and I measured the insert. So I then took some fabric, and I wonder, do I have that fabric out? Probably not. I probably put it away. It's behind me. This is some of that Laundry Baskets quilt line that I used for my pairs, if you caught that in a couple of videos back. I actually took this and attached it to the sticky side of the press-on board, wrapped it around. I'll show you the back. Because this is a very easy way to do a finish in a pre-bought frame. So I wrapped that around, oh, my pen sticks through. Wrapped it around the press-on board. And then I used the double-sided tape and sticky circles to press it down in the corners. I am inserting, after I show you this, I am inserting a little video showing kind of putting this together, just as part of today's Flosstube episode. Anyway, so that is the background. Then on another piece of press-on board, I put 2 layers of batting, wrapped my piece around, and I laced it to that press-on board. And I think lacing it, you could just glue it if you wanted to, or use the double-sided tape, but I did lace my piece. And then I made my own cording, and I made my own cording. I think I put the other one away. I didn't want to use my over-dyed floss for that, so I used 831 and B5200 to kind of play on the colors in the stitch. And I made my own cording with the Kreinik cording maker, and I am including that in today's Flosstube as well, so you can kind of see the process. And I then just glued it in place with a little tacky glue, starting here at the bottom, and I came around to the top, and I just overlapped mine. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there you can see. I just overlapped it up at the top, and then I let it dry. I let it sit and dry, and I glued it right to my stitched piece. Left it. Then I hot glued this. Well, yes, I hot glued this to the sticky board that has the fabric in it, the press-on board that has the fabric. And then I used Chantal's bow making tool, the 2.5-inch bow making tool, and I took 2 ribbons. This one is from Lady Dot Creates. What color is it? Oh, here it says honeycomb. Definitely honeycomb. And then this is from Dames of the Needle, and it is called Dames of the Needle from the Cauldron Indian Custard. I've had these in my stash for well over a year, but I layered them together, and you'll see that in the video. I wrapped them around the bow tool, and then to attach it, I actually just took a straight pin that I have, like a decorative pin, and shoved it through. That's what you saw sticking in the back of here, and shoved it into my sticky board to attach. So it's not permanently attached in case we would ever need to change it. I did leave tails on my cording and then kind of tasseled them out here to finish it up. And I could not be more pleased with it. I absolutely love it, and I cannot wait to give it to my parents. I hope they love it. I just thought it was so, so pretty. Now, this is a PDF only from Hands On Design, and it includes the charting for 20th anniversary, 25th, 30th, 40th, 50th, and 60th, which I think is just amazing. I love that so much. And you can see there's a couple of different colorways, or you can stitch it in any colorway that you want. But head over to Hands On Design. Again, 4.5 hours is all it took me to stitch this. And I think it is so pretty. So this is the piece I stitched for my parents. I could not be more happy with it. I love, love, love it so much. And I think it makes a really nice gift. And again, I was able, oh, I guess there was a little bit of, so there was a little something on there. But again, it makes such a lovely gift. Or even if you're celebrating an anniversary, just a lovely gift for yourself. So again, that's the Hands On Design Celebrate the Years. Now I am going to include a little video tutorial of how I put this together and how I made the cording. Going to start, you can see I've laid out some fabric. I have some scraps of some press-on board, but we're going to remove the insides of my frame. Previously, before the video started, I did discard the glass. This particular frame did come with glass, but I don't need it. I'm measuring the inserts. You can see it was for a pet frame. This just was the perfect size, and when I purchased it specifically for this, and then I thought I would do something different. but I ended up coming back to it and I'm glad I did. This piece of press-on board measures 6 by 6.5. I have found that this particular cutter from Tim Holtz cuts through the press-on board really well. It is kind of pricey, but I have found that it works fantastic, and so that is what I use for the press-on board, and you can replace the blade. That is a question I get asked quite a bit. So I'm double checking my measurements because I can't find my press-on board. I've either used a whole bunch of it or I don't know. I might need to make another purchase. So I didn't have a ton to make a mistake. Then I am cutting down my other piece to 4 by 4.5. So we have a 6 by 6.5 and a 4 by 4.5. And those two pieces are going to fit inside of my frame perfectly. Once I have my press-on board cut, we can put our cutter away, and it's time I'm going to work from the back up. So we're going to start with the background. I did iron my fabric, or I do need to iron my fabric. I think I did run it over to the ironing board and iron, to get some of that out. I'm removing the sticky side from my press-on board, and I'm leaving about an inch border all the way around. I actually stuck it down and then cut it. I don't always do it this way, but that's how I did it this time. And I have my Creative Grids ruler, my rotary cutter, and I'm just going to trim a little bit out of that. This is a fat quarter of fabric. I have plenty left for other projects now. So I just tried to use the minimal amount. I always try to, save as much fabric as possible. That particular fabric is from Laundry Basket Quilts. I will link to that down below. In the corners of the back of my press-on board, I am placing some of these sticky circles. I get mine from Fat Quarter Shop. These are the smaller size. I'm going to start by folding in the corners, and then we're going to use the double stick tape to fold in the sides. I want this to just be very nice and crisp with no wrinkles. I'm using something sharp to remove the backing paper, and then you'll notice that I'm folding in those corners, just trying to get kind of a nice 90-degree angle, or as close to it as possible. The great thing about the sticky corners, you can pull up the fabric if you need to and readjust. You can't really do that with hot glue. Then I'm taking the tape and we're going to press it along the sides. I just do 2 sides at a time. Generally, I start with the longer sides. This particular piece doesn't have as much of a difference as some. So we'll just do the 2 opposite sides, and then I fold those in, and I fold as tight as possible. You can see I'm really pulling and folding tight. We're going to switch to the other side. Same thing. Lifting it up with something sharp. This little pokey tool that I have works fantastic for that. I'll link it down below as well. And then just folding and really pulling tight. And then we're going to do the other 2 sides. And this is it. This is the insert for our frame. We've removed the glass. I went ahead and discarded the mats that came with the frame. I didn't buy them to use, for any purpose at all. I bought it because this frame size worked for this stitch. And I know I bought it when it was on sale. It's just been like well over a year since I originally stitched that first piece last year. Okay, so we have our background and it is time to start working on the stitch itself. For this, I am going to grab excess batting. I always keep all of my little leftover batting from when I quilt or make any kind of quilted project. I'm just going to double check that fits, and it does. And the back fits in perfectly. I mean, it just went so smooth, you guys. Thrilled with that. Okay, so I keep my excess batting, and I want to trim that batting to 4 by 4.5 as well. And because my batting is relatively thin, I like to go ahead and do 2 layers of batting. If you have thicker batting, you may only need 1 layer of batting. It's really personal preference, or you may want more if you want it super puffy. That is completely up to you. I'm doing these 2 layers of warm and white. That's the batting scraps I have left over. And I am going to remove the sticky side, and I'm going to place the batting right on top. Obviously, only one of them actually is sticking. The other one is just kind of laying on top. I'm going to center my stitch, and that looks fantastic. I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to do about the same thing here. I'm leaving about 1 inch. You can leave as much as you want, but I did 1 inch. That was plenty for this particular piece. I don't like a ton of extra fabric on the back of mine. I think it just makes it even bulkier. So we're going to go all the way around. And once we have that, I am ready to lace. I'm going to make sure it's centered. I'm just double checking. This was really easy to lace. It's a small little piece. And I am going to grab some of this strong thread that I pick up on Amazon. I will link to the one I'm using below. And then I'm lacing it. I am not the world's best lacer. I'm just going to say that right now. I can do it perfectly fine for myself, and I think it's one of those things, the more you practice, the better you get at it. I have laced a couple of things lately, and it's getting there. It's totally fine. The only way to get better at something is by practicing. But no one's going to see it. It's going to be glued down to my background piece. Now, there are other ways to attach this. You could use the sticky tape that I used previously for the fabric. You can use hot glue. It's really up to you what you want to do here. So I am going to just kind of speed up this. It's not really a tutorial on lacing. I just wanted to show you how I finished this piece. I will say that I need to get more comfortable with cutting a much longer length of this, I think it's tapestry thread. It's really strong. I have found that this doesn't break, and I tend to be a little bit aggressive. So I was breaking all kinds of things, but I really, really like this. I don't cut long enough lengths because I couldn't even make it all the way down the side for this little teeny tiny 4 by 4.5. So I need to get better, but I get it all tangled and then I get mad. And so this is how I end up lacing my piece. So you want to lace one side, and then you want I knotted it because I am going to go ahead and then do the other side. I will tell you, watch Kathy of Hands On Designs video. She does have a very good lacing tutorial, and she has written instruction lacing tutorials in a lot of her finishes that are just fantastic. I do what she does where she kind of tacks the corner down. I didn't love what I did right here because that is kind of close to the edge, but it's fine. And again, it turned out fine. On the front, you would never know this. I am showing you guys this to hopefully encourage you to give lacing a try. You don't have to be perfect at it. Just do your best. So I'm just knotting it. Every time I have to change, I knotted it. When I stopped on that one side, that was a tip I got from Kathy. When you are finished with one side, knot it, even if you have plenty of thread left, before you move to the second side. Because if that would ever happen to break, you don't want to have to relace everything. So that is just a little tip from her. But you'll notice I'm tacking those corners, making sure they're pulled in nice, tacking them down so that they don't stick out the side. And then I'll continue to lace my piece. And she calls it like little scoops, like you scoop up a little bit of the fabric and then go to the other side. I don't know. I find this really somewhat relaxing, you guys, to be honest, which is funny, but I like lacing. I love how it looks on your piece. So when you do the first two sides, I should mention, double check that your piece is centered because you can kind of manipulate and move it at that point. And once you have it where you like, then go ahead and start lacing the other direction. I did shift mine slightly down, leaving probably just a skosh more room up at the top because I knew I wanted to add a bow and the tassels hanging down. I don't know that it's super obvious, but I did leave. See how I left just a little more space up at the top? That was on purpose. I tried to keep the sides and the bottom, the space pretty even. Okay, I don't know that this is the best way to show the cording. I will have a separate cording tutorial coming soon, but I use a clamp to hold my cording. Now, to measure my cording, I took the circumference of my piece. So it was 4.5 by 4.5. So we have 9 by 4 by 4. So 8. So I took 17 times 3, and that is how long I cut 3 lengths of each color of my DMC floss. Now, it's going to give me more than what I need, but I always err on the side of having more, not less. Always with cording. I make my cording with DMC, so it's inexpensive, and there's every color in the rainbow. And I just figure it's better safe than sorry. You've gone through all the effort. I hate to not have enough cording for a project. So again, 3 lengths of each color. 3 lengths of my gold color, 3 lengths of my white. That is what I'm doing right here. Then I knot the 3 lengths of gold together and the 3 lengths of white together at one end. Then we're going to take both of these lengths, the white and the gold, and I knot them together at one end. So here I'm just knotting them together. And I will tell you that part of this I hope did not get cut out. My son was talking to me while I was doing this, and I didn't want to tell him to go away. So I didn't. Okay, next I am clamping that knot where I joined the white and the gold together at one end, and I just clamp it to my table. That's like my extra set of hands. Then we're going to take, I think I started with gold. Hi, we're going to move out. And I am going to twist. I put my Kreinik hook through that, and I am twisting away from me. See how I'm going away from me? We are going to do this for the gold and the white. I know it's hard to see the twisting. You're going to see it here in a little bit. And I twist until you start to see it almost kink up on itself. Once it does that, I just tape it down. That's like my 4th set of hands. Hold that one in place for just a second. And I just have this masking tape out from my garage. And we're going to put the hook in the white now, and we're going to twist. Oh, again, I'm twisting away. Whichever way. Just remember that when we join these two, we're going to, sorry you guys, I don't mean to make everybody sick. Just remember that when we put them together, we're going to go the opposite. So I went away from myself for each individual color, or for the 2 strands before we join them. Even if this was the same color, you would do the same thing. And now I'm going to just tape these 2 ends together with that one piece of tape that I was holding, my 4th set of hands. Just taping those together. And then I put the hook in between the 2 cords. And now we're going to go I'm going towards myself. And that is twisting these together. And again, you want to keep your tension nice and tight. And you just want to twist until it starts to fold up on itself. It's not folding up yet. I always test it. I like it to fold up on itself, and then when it does, I take it off, and it's going to come unraveled a little bit. See how I run my hands over the cord over and over? And I'm kind of letting it it's not untwisting, but it's unkinking. And then, I'm silly, we have double colored cording. And we're ready for assembly of the cording. So I like to fold it in half, find the center, and I am going to have it end up at the top so that the bow kind of disguises where it meets. And let's just switch our camera. So there are my ends. I'm going to join it here at the bottom again. And I love this tacky glue that comes in this small tube. I'm going to run a bead of glue along the bottom of my stitch. You could also whip stitch this in place if you wanted to. I just glued mine down. And then I'm going to just kind of press gently the cording into the Aleene's glue. And I like to work one side at a time. So I was a little impatient. You don't want to put too much glue. You don't want it squishing out. You don't want it getting on the front piece of your linen and on your stitches. But I did do the bottom and the sides. And then the day I did this, I actually let it sit. I fixed lunch for myself and my son. And then when lunch was over, I went back into my craft room and I glued the top. And then I did a couple of other things. And once that glue is set and dry, that is when I went ahead and finished. So you do need to give yourself a little bit of time. I find if you try to do like just move on while that glue is wet, you're constantly fussing with the cording on your piece because it just does not stick. So I actually used my risers from Chantal to set this on while I went and made lunch and let this sit and completely dry. But you can see, I love how it's pulling the colors of the stitch into this decorative cording. I'm really into cording right now. Like I want to put it on everything. You'll see that here in a minute. Okay, now that the sides are dry, I'm moving right on to the top, and you could maybe knot it. I'm overlapping it. There's a lot of different ways to do this. You can make a hanger out of it if you're making ornaments. I mean, there's so many cute ways to add cording to your projects. I'm just overlapping it. Okay, so we're gonna let that sit. Let's go ahead and make our bows. So I showed you that I have these two colors of silk ribbon, or maybe it's, I don't know what kind of ribbon it is. It's just hand-dyed ribbon. And it's in two shades that I think really complement the stitch. And they are kind of twisty. And I don't really want to iron them. I want them to have that twisty effect on the finished piece. But I do need them to be somewhat flat for wrapping around the bow tool. And I'm doing a double bow. So I am using the 2.5. And you'll notice that I'm doing a figure 8. And I wanted to leave all of this in so you could really see me fussing with this ribbon. Fussing it together, trying to get it as untwisted as possible for the bow loops themselves. And then I'm just going to cut the ends, tuck it through, and then you put those two ends, through the center and knot, and then you can pull it off. It literally made the most perfect bow. I was super happy with this. And I love these bow tools from Chantal. I use them for every bow I make. So now I'm just going to fuss with the bow a little bit and see how we haven't lost any of that awesome crinkly texture. Now to attach this, you could tack it in place with a couple of stitches. You could glue it in place. I'm actually going to pin mine in place. I didn't have a decorative pin at the time of making this, and then I didn't have time to order one before my parents got here. I might have put a decorative pin in it. I didn't even want to go to the store. It's been a whole week, you guys. But I think it's fine. I actually really like it. My parents are kind of simple. They don't like over-the-top embellishments. I mean, I used to say I was adopted because you guys know I'm extra, but I'm not adopted. I look just like my mom. It's fine. Anyhow, that's a whole nother story that we laugh about. So I decided, because I know my parents and I know they like things a little more simplified, I'm just going to take a pin and stick it down in between, in like the batting and the sticky board to secure that bow, because we could always pop it off. Now I am knotting my cording when I figure out my length, and then I just kind of do that with my thumb. And then I have a toothbrush I've never used, and I use it as a brush for my cording like this. So I'm just brushing the ends of the cording out to make these cute little tassels. That way the cording also becomes part of the decoration up at the top. To me, this is just really elegant and really simple. That needed a little haircut. Okay, so this little decorative pin I have, I can't think of the name of it. I will add a link to it. I have a bunch of these. They're Tim Holtz pins. Any kind of pin, really, like even a little flat top pin, probably for pinning your pieces, would work. But I'm going to, oh, actually I glued this first. So here's my hot glue. It was really good and hot. And I'm going to go around And this is the only time I used hot glue. I'm going to center it and press that down in place. There we go. Love it. It's coming together, you guys. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Okay, and then I'm going to take that pin and we're just going to push. And I will tell you, it was very, very tight. But I am going to take my pin through the ribbon or through the bow, and then I'm going to push it in here. And you gotta use some muscles. Push. I think it's because it went through the back piece of press-on board, and I didn't get it quite. I didn't want it to come through the front of my stitching, so I'd rather it be in the back. But see how it's hidden completely? And then just kind of fluff up your bow. Fiddle with your ends. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's it. That is how I finished and framed up this piece. So I also went and grabbed some previous finishes that I needed to FFO. I swapped out my decor. So I took all of the Easter down, put it away as we were cleaning and getting ready for company and for graduation. Put all of the Easter away, and I decided I'm not quite ready to get my patriotic out. So I decided to put my bee stuff out. I don't have tons, and I realized I have a lot of stuff kitted. I don't even know if I have anything else started. I have a lot of bee things ready to go, but they're not actually stitched yet. But I finished Hive Rules, if you remember that. It's huge, and so I'm not going to get it. I've already displayed it. I'll put it on social media. And maybe I'll even try to insert a photo if possible. But I had stitched this a while ago. I would rather be stitching from Primrose Cottage, and I have had it out to finish. I can't even tell you how many times, you guys. And I kept putting it away and putting it away. So I am really going to make an effort to dive into those previous finishes and try to have some FFO'S. I'm not going to promise every week, but quite often until I get those caught up, because I want to get these things finished. But I wanted to display these because I put out the rest of my bee things. So I went ahead and I was inspired, and I made a pillow. This is stitched on 25 count antique white Lugana, just like my Hive Rules is. When I started Hive Rules, I was a very much Lugana and very much 25 count. And so I had stitched this, and then the other piece I'm going to show you is just a refinish. I'd finished it previously. In fact, there's a video on YouTube, but I had taken it apart months ago, and I finished that one as well. But let me flip the camera around and I'll tell you all about this. It does make, you can see, it's a pretty good sized pillow, but my stitching is kind of big, and that is okay. I love how it turned out. So this is my pillow finish, and I made it, it's kind of similar in style to how the Primrose Cottage girls did theirs, where they did a little piece of fabric here and then a piece of fabric down here at the bottom. I think they even did rickrack, and then I did buy the pins from Just Another Button Company, and I have had them ready to go with this the whole time. But what I did different, I love this patchwork. And if you remember my little autumn chart, the Lori Holt stitch cards from last fall where I did a patchwork bottom, that is what inspired this. Now the fabrics. I know I received a question on Instagram, I think, asking what fabrics I used. You guys, they are a mismatch. It's a mismatch of all kinds of fabric. It's a lot is a bundle or two that I purchased from Primrose Cottage themselves. I know like the little bee print is from there. I don't know where all the fabric is from. Here's my fabric pull for my pillow. This is Lori Holt fabric, and this is that Laundry Baskets quilts, the same that I used for the background of my 50 celebrate the years, the 50th anniversary piece, as well as my pairs. That's from that bundle. Everything else I got in a bundle from Primrose Cottage, and it is just a mismatch, and I've had it for over a year. So my suggestion for fabric would be I have a fabric stash, so it's kind of easy for me, but maybe grab a bundle from Primrose Cottage or from anybody, you know, like on Etsy who sells bundles of fabric. It's a great way to build your stash when you want to make things. These are all 2-inch squares sewn together to make the patchwork. So finished, they're 1.5. And I just couldn't love it more. So what I did, I sewed this fabric onto my stitch. Then I sewed my rickrack, which is the Lori Holt, and this is the color Pebble rickrack. I liked this color because I felt like it kind of pulled on the browns or kind of brownish grays from the stitch. I sewed that on to this piece, and then I sewed my patchwork, and I sewed my patchwork to this, ironed it down, and then I sewed the back. And I did use this little plaid. I liked this plaid. That's what I used for the back of my pillow. Now, do you see the little herringbone stitch here? I call it like my little Frankenstein stitch. I'm really into the herringbone. Ever since doing it for my pears, I've been loving it. So what I opted to do for my pillow today, so I wouldn't have that dip that you get often if you do your seam down here, I don't do this a lot, but I did do it for both of the pillows I'm sharing today. I've just kind of been influenced and inspired lately. I sewed the back to the front, and then I did my little technique from the Valentine's Quaker pillow where I had a seam here that I was able to just pick apart with my seam ripper. I did do a ladder stitch in the back of my pillow, but then it's obvious that I did that. But I just went ahead and went with it, and I did my herringbone stitch with some, I think that's a color in cotton thread, and I call it my little Frankenstein. I like it. Who cares? No one's really going to notice on the back anyway. And I tried to make it a little decorative and just kind of go with it. And then I wrapped this twine around it, which is from Stampin' Up, which I thought coordinated beautifully to the rickrack. And that is my I Would Rather Be stitching pillow. Tucked in my pins, done. It did take a lot of polyester fiber fill. Oh, and I did completely fill it with polyester fiber fill. I don't always do that, but I did do that for this. And I actually did it for both of them. That was just kind of what I was feeling. I go with whatever I'm feeling during that finishing session. And I love it. It turned out so good. So that is how I did that one. And then this is the refinish. This is Welcome to Our Hive. And originally I did a small little pillow with this stitch. This also was stitched on 25 count antique white Lugana. I stitched it at the same time as Hive Rules. Again, it's from Primrose Cottage. All the called for colors for both of these, which is DMC. But I took that same plaid print, sewed it to the bottom of this, sewed it to this print. That's that Laundry Baskets quilt print. I cut a slit in this one. I didn't sew my fabric together. I actually forgot. I was going to, and I forgot. So I just cut a hole, opened it, stuffed it, and then I decided to make a little torn fabric patch from the bee fabric so that it has that kind of, torn edge to it. I did put a piece of fusible interfacing on the back of this white because it was pretty thin. And then I just ran a little running stitch all the way around the edge to close that up. So cute, flat, and decorative. But then on the front, I also did the herringbone stitch where my two fabrics meet. I didn't add rickrack this time, and so I thought that would be really cute and fun. I made my own cording using, so I was going to make it a solid color of cording, you guys, but I didn't have enough of one skein of DMC, and I had already cut one skein, so I just picked another color close to that, so it's kind of a gold on gold, which I like. I think it actually ended up being really cute. Made my own cording. I did hand stitch it on. It is not glued on. I hand stitched it on. I started here. I did leave plenty of extra. I whip stitched it all the way around my pillow. Got here to the beginning, made a little knot, made sure I secured my whip stitching, and then I tied off the ends and made tassels so that it hangs here on the side. Then I just sewed on some cute little wood buttons that I picked up on Amazon a while back that I love. I like that kind of primitive button look. I had one and then I was like, do I want to do other kinds of buttons? And I auditioned a lot of different things, but we ended up with the 3 and I love it. I can see myself doing this little doohickey lots. Loved how it turned out. So I have 2 more bee decor items because I finished these pillows. So those are my full finishes this week. Super, super excited to have those done, to have more decor, to have more finishes out of that finish pile or more FFO'S out of that finish pile that need to be finished. And I just went with it. I don't think I did a lick of stitching that day that I finished all of these, and that's okay. Sometimes when the mood strikes me, I notice when I finish, I generally finish more than one thing because I'm in that mood. I'm in that zone, I guess, the right mindset. And so that is what I did. So let's talk whips. I just have a little bit of stitching, especially since I'm filming this so much earlier than I normally do. So let's talk whips. A little bit of haul and some stitchy kindness, and then we'll do our giveaway for the week. So my first whip, and I did not iron anything for you today. I know, so nice of me. I need to get caught up on my Moment in Chalk. This is the Hands-On Design Moment in Chalk series, and I am stitching them one each month at a time. So I've got my center. If you haven't seen that, it's beautiful. I'll hold it up here in a minute. So I am working on April. I know we're in May. I never got April's done. So April is quick. I did all of this in like an evening and then I just started on the red, but then I was in the finish mood. I actually think I stitched that red the same day I did my finishing. That's funny. Anyhow, so I am stitching all my little strawberries on, and then I'll move on to May and be caught up for the month. But I am stitching with all the called for Gentle Arts floss 2/2 on 32 count charcoal Lugana, and I cannot wait to get this done. I'm waiting to put all my buttons on until the end. You can stitch these as part of the large design, or you can stitch them individually, which I think is absolutely beautiful. I fell in love with the large finished piece, and I've talked about it many, many times, but this is the piece that kind of brought me back to cross stitching. I purchased it and then I immediately went and finished a stitch that I'd had as a whip for years and years and years. Like when I went and set all of my cross stitch aside to be a scrapbooker, a full-time scrapbooker. But you know, that was the phase of life I was in as well, and with little kids. And so this got me back in probably about 2017, 2018. I think this was done in 2015 or 16. Kathy will have to tell me because I don't know. But I purchased the whole thing. I've started it 3 times. This is my 3rd start and we are going with this one. I think what's funny is when I restarted this, I was pretty comfortable on Lugana, and not that I'm not, but I'm really comfortable on linen now, and I probably would have stitched this on linen, but I'm okay with it. I love it. I love the color of this fabric. It's the same color that I've been doing these on, my BISCORNUs, and that I did the Liberty Pennies and and I'm stitching the summer basket. You'll see here. Oh, I have it. It's the same color, but this is linen and this is Lugana. So I love it. And I should have that to show by next week. Hopefully maybe I'll have May done as well. start working on June. I do have a fun girls weekend coming up in June, the lake weekend with my girlfriends, and I'm taking this with me, and I'm going to see how many I can get done, to be honest. I have a couple little projects like that. I'd also like to get working on the border and maybe just sit and stitch white until I don't want to stitch white anymore, and then I'll do something else. But that's where I am on this one, and I just love, look at the little B button that I get to add here. Oh, I love it so much. So again, that's the Chalk Squared Moment in Chalk series from Hands On Design. And I love seeing so many of you guys stitching this, even though it's not brand new. I love, love, love that. Okay, the only other thing to talk about today, as far as stitching and whips, is the Summer Basket by Hands On Design. And I stitched on this a little bit, but I will have this completely finished because the finishing tutorial will go up Wednesday, May 15th. So my top of my 32 count BISCORNU is finished. Again, I did not iron, I'm sorry. My bottom I'm still working on. I am doing a little trio of stars in each corner. I'll put this guy together, and then I'm going to have to bust my hump here to get my 36 count on the charcoal stitched. But this was stitching really quickly, and this is my priority number one now that my parents' gift is all finished. And so I will have these to include in that finishing video, you know, photos and things of them. The video is filmed. I filmed it with the Autumn BISCORNU, but it will be the complete instructions for assembling your BISCORNU, tips, tricks, and hopefully lots of inspiration. I'll be showing all of these BISCORNUs done together, and I can't wait to see everybody's BISCORNU finish. I know I was watching. Here's the crazy thing. I sat down for lunch Thursday, and I know it was afternoon. So for me, Primrose Cottage's Flosstube Live is at 11, my time zone, Central Time. And so I noticed that they were still on when I sat down for my lunch. So I just clicked on, and they were talking. Emily is stitching one of her 12 monthly minis as a BISCORNU. And they were talking about it, and so I was able to chat because there were some questions regarding, you know, how many stitches away from the outside I stitched and things like that. So that was really funny and fun, but I love that Emily is stitching one, and I've seen so many of you guys stitching different BISCORNUs, and that is amazing. I cannot wait to see what everyone has stitched. I've loved the progress so far. A lot of you have finished. A lot of you have stitched multiple like I did, which is really, really fun. So again, thank you guys so much for another amazing Sal celebrating my 2-year Flossiversary. That just thrills me, kind of blows my mind. I've been doing this crazy talking to the camera for 2 years, but I'm talking to you guys. I know. It just so fun. I love it, and yeah, I don't know. Absolutely amazing. My actual Flossiversary is May 17th, so maybe I'll do some sort of a post or something. Maybe we'll do some. Maybe we'll do another giveaway of some sort. That would be fun. Anyway, so that is all of my stitching this week. Pretty minimal because I did all those finishing, plus I had that restitch to do, and that took a little bit of my time, and I'm filming early. So hopefully next week, I'm not going to promise I'm going to have a lot more stitching because obviously company and graduation celebration and all of that good stuff. Let's do a little stitchy kindness, a little haul, and then we're going to do our giveaway. So first up, April of Crafty Bluebonnet Designs sent me this awesome new patriotic spool chart. Love these. So cute. I'm going to figure out how I want to do these or stitch these, but I would love to add these to my patriotic this year. So April, thank you. I will link this in the description for you guys as well. And then the lovely ladies of Jersey Girl Stitch Co. sent me these pins. So when I was showing my blue pear start, they told me they had made some pins to go with those pears. These are the Prussian blue decorative pins. Are these not gorgeous, you guys? I cannot wait to put these into, can't wait to put these into my pears. And so beautiful. Thank you, ladies, for sending these to me. And that's not all. They've also offering a set of these as a giveaway, which will be a giveaway today as well. So sweet of you guys to do this. And I just want to let you guys know that all of the proceeds go to help Anna with her master's in medical research. So that is so, I wanted to share that because I think that really helps you know how you impact small businesses. Not just my small business and my family by, you know, watching these videos, interacting with my content. It really does make a difference for all small businesses when you spend your dollars with them or that you support them, you watch their, like I said, you watch their content, you interact with their content. It means the world. So just a little reminder, please subscribe if you haven't already, because it really does make a difference. And I appreciate you guys. And I just thought that was so nice of Anna and Teresa. And I was glad that she mentioned that in her note to me, because, you know, it makes all of the difference for many, many people. The other thing I want to let you know, and I will put this along the screen too, she said that new summer pins for, new summer pins launch, May 18th. So, you guys, new summer pins, I cannot wait to see what they are. I love their things, and they have just been so super generous and kind. And again, I couldn't be more grateful. Thank you, ladies, so much. All right. I felt like I had some, oh yes. I have one card from my friend. Karen won a quilt bundle from me, and she sent me this darling card. And Karen, I love that you have these flowers above the rainbow. This was the cutest little idea. I love it so much. Thank you for my card. And I cannot wait to see you. Okay, a little bit of haul. I love the linen from number 12 Stitch Co. So I got some 36 count ice rose. I'm a sucker for a beautiful pale pink, and I wanted to see what this one looked like. So I got some ice rose. It's very similar to blush. I love that it's 36. I wanted to see what this one looked like. This is old lace. It is beautiful. Really similar, I think, to the gray. Maybe just a tad lighter than the gray from Weeks. That's called Old Lace, also in 36. And then you might remember that I was like, I don't know if I'll do the agave pears from Annie B's on the called for color. The called for color is French pear. I feel like it was 46 count. It was something crazy. I got 36, but you know what? I sure did. Those are the autumn pears. So I'm going to stitch the autumn pears on this French pear fabric. Yeah, I'm a sucker. I folded and I got it. So those are some new linens that I purchased from number 12 Stitch Co. Also, my Color and Cotton monthly club kits came. Here, I'll show the neutral. I get the neutral and the color fabrics. So this is Creme Brulee, which is an amazing color. Love this. So beautiful. And I get the 36 count in these. So that's the Creme Brulee. And then the color fabric, you guys, Halloween stitch for sure. Apple Soft. This is such a cool color. I like getting some different colors. I love having a stash. I love being able to go to my stash and pick something. This is so neat. I love it. So apple soft, and then I do get the color and the primitives. So I get the all colors. These are the all colors. These were what were included in the all colors this month. Open them up so we can see them a little bit better before I go put them away. These are pretty neutral. Good colors though. Love this. So here are the all colors, and then these were the primitives. Love adding to my stash. And this is what you saw me putting away when I did that little sped up room clean last weekend, which it's already a mess because I've been having a crafter math happen in here. But I do keep, somebody asked, how do I keep all my floss by color? I do keep color and cotton by color, and I keep silks by color, but DMC, Classic Color Works, Gentle Arts, and Weeks are all sorted by name, or all alphabetized by name. Okay, that is it. Okay, that is it for haul. I didn't really have a whole lot this week. Thank you guys for the lovely little surprises in the mail. This week's giveaways. I have 2 giveaways. First up, if you would like the beautiful Prussian blue pens from Jersey Girl Stitch Co., use the word blue in your comment and I will choose a winner. So I have 2 special giveaways for Mother's Day. This is one. So if you want these for a stitch, or you've stitched the blue pairs from Annie B's, or you're going to stitch the blue pairs from Annie B's, gorgeous. Use the word blue in your comment. And then the special prize, and this one's actually mine. I am still finishing sewing the bag for my giveaway. It's mostly pieced, but I need to quilt it and just assemble. I had promised to do one of these as a giveaway. Well, not promised. I had mentioned that I would do one of these as a giveaway for my 100K celebration, and I completely forgot. And I thought, you know what? We're just going to do some things like that every once in a while. And I thought, what better for Mother's Day weekend than to offer one of my rainbow project bags. So it will look very much like this. Some of the rainbow fabric might be a little different. I think most of it is exactly the same. It just depended. I go to my scrap drawer and pull the colors. I think purple is different. I don't have that one. And the red is different. And maybe the orange. But these 3 colors are exactly the same. The blue fabric is all the same for the front and the back. And then inside the zipper bag, whoops. Oh, look, there's a stitch I need to do. I was looking for that. Is another rainbow fabric for the inside of the bag. It comes with this awesome zipper and then this cute little zipper pull. Whoops. It's a little rainbow zipper pull from the Cherry Chick Biz decorative sewing pens. I love it. So if you would like this, oh, and it'll have a label on the back too. But if you would like a rainbow project bag, I don't make these to sell. I know I get asked every time. Guys, there's not enough time. I don't have enough time to do that. But every once in a while, I would love to be able to offer these. Just at this time, I just don't have time to sew project bags. But I would love to gift one to one of you. Don't have to be a mom. to enter the giveaway, use the word rainbow somewhere in your comment, and I would love to be able to gift you one of these bags. Please make sure for all of my giveaways, like the video, subscribe to my channel. You must be a subscriber. You need to be over 18 and U.S. residents only for shipping prizes. I do have to purchase all of that postage and stuff, so U.S. only, please. Okay, guys, I think that is it for this week's video. Thank you guys for joining me again this week. Thank you to everyone who has participated in my seasonal BISCORNU Sal. It means the world to me that you guys, spend time with me, engage with my content like we were talking earlier, and how it makes a difference in people's lives. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing 2 years sharing my love of stitching with you all, and I am grateful for each and every one of you. So thank you. I wish you all a wonderful stitchy week. I hope you've had a great weekend, and don't forget to join me Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Central Time for the premiere video of the finishing tutorial. I will be live in the chat, and just a little FYI, it's a little sneak, kind of. I've probably said it before, but I will be announcing my next Sal in early June. So we're going to have a couple weeks off here. I'm taking June off, at least from the Stitch With Me's, and the Sal. But starting in July, we will have a Christmas in July Sal. So that's all I'm going to tell you right now. I can't wait to share more. The announcements will all come in June, and I will make sure and post it everywhere. So again, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click that like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new Flosstube stitching or quilting video. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time. Okay, so I also did some more finishing. I actually So I actually